Do you know this is the regular episode we're doing right now?
We hadn't come into the
I was thinking
thing
this
yet.
would be a good intro.
Welcome, folks. There's another deep end.
I'll believe
This ain't a
that.
deep end. This is a regular.
It is if we want it to be. I'm taking it to.
No, we can do it as regular. So far, I'll bleep everything so far. Just
Oh
don't.
my gosh.
We need to do it now before it goes off the rails.
Yeah, I know.
Because we got to do a regular and a
But the
deep end.
songwriting bit you just did was
Can't
good.
do the deep end before we do the
they'll
regular.
enjoy that.
That won't ever work.
Glad to have y'all with us here on another Something in the Water.
Something in the water taught me how to crawl. Something in the water taught me how to fall.
I've got some words here I started writing early this morning that I'd like for you to help finish it because we got to. I mean, it could be go in any direction, but what it is in my head right now is kind of like, I was watching a group called Cactus. Remember Cactus?
Remember that name?
The band? Late 60s, early 70s. I wanted to lump them in that country rock thing, but they were more like southern rock, blues rock, experimental rock. They hard-edged as hell, but they were good. I remember listening to their albums when I was back in that time, but I was listening to them and their kind of quirky song, the way they arranged them, you know. It'd be like, damn, they went to that quick. You know, it's not like you're hearing it in straightforward blues progression, you know.
It's like some of the math.
It's like,
the song math don't add up.
they morphed. Yeah, I kind of like that, you know, sometimes.
Captain
anyhow.
Beyond-ish?
No, not that deep. This is more like Allman Brothers, kind of at its core, but then they get a little more rhythm and bluesy, you know. Great lead singer. Sounds like maybe what Black Crowes would have patterned themselves on, you know. Little Allman Brothers, Rolling Stones, Leonard Skinner mixed together, you know, with a lot of variation. Guitar player, tall, lanky son of a just back there doing a good job. Yeah. Cactus. Anyhow, I was based off of that. I was just a line hit me, said, Venezuela's kind of hot, you know, this time of year. You know, it's just some random I came up with. Headed down to South America to see the total eclipse of the sun. Found an Andean Indian with an abacus doing algebra and coconut rum. He said, Venezuela's kind of hot, you know, as he offered me some marching powder. I said, no way, Jose, I'm leaving for Augusta. This jungle's just a little too loud. and then say, I'm getting back home to Georgia where the moss is hanging in the trees, where them slow-talking girls drinking sweet iced tea are begging me to pretty please. I have had about as much of this as I can stand. I'm getting back to Georgia just as fast as I can.
I think that's
I'm getting back to Georgia just as fast as I can.
Cool.
Kind of mix it up with the John Prine writing, but I thought a second verse would be great. Well, I loaded up to go to Las Vegas with the Pine Box Dwellers in tow. We ended up at, what was the name of that punk club? The double
Down Saloon.
double barrel.
Double Down.
Double down.
Double Barrel.
I can't remember what it was. Can work that into it.
I think it's Double Down Saloon.
And something. Then talk about hula hooping to the redheaded girls, mall girls cover of something alone now. Got none of my only. I think we're alone
Tiffany.
now. Tiffany,
Yeah.
Tiffany's version of "I Think We're Alone Now," playing in the
Which was
punk
Tommy
club.
James? Was that?
Yes, that was the original. Hula hoop in the punk club with cowboy boots, a white cowboy hat, a gold lame shirt, and a Willie Nelson T-shirt on. And you was recording me from behind.
Yeah. Hula hooping.
Work that into the song and say, if that ain't punk, I'll if that ain't punk,
Do you know this is the regular episode we're doing right now?
we hadn't come into the
I was thinking
thing
this
yet.
would be a good intro.
Welcome, folks. There's another deep end.
I'll believe
This ain't a
that.
deep end. This is the regular.
It is if we want it to be. I'm taking it to.
No,
gotta-
we can do it as a regular. So far, I'll bleep everything so far. Just
Oh
don't.
my gosh.
We need to do it now before it goes off the rails.
Yeah, I know.
Because we got to do a regular and a
But the
deep end.
songwriting bit you just did was
Can't
good.
do the deep
so
end before we do
they'll
the regular.
enjoy that.
That won't ever work.
Glad to have y'all with us here on another Something in the Water. It's us.
We got Murdoch.
M. That's all we call him around here is M. It ain't Dr. M.
Our producer, our engineer, our chef, our
Our cook.
button masher.
He does it all, folks. This is the man who came up with the idea for Something in the Water podcast, probably along with Sean.
No,
Yep.
he come
Yeah.
to both of us with it.
Folks,
Just a
tonight's episode is about the evolution of the podcast. I think that'd be good. I mean, tell us how it all started. I mean, certainly, where everybody out there is getting more and more podcast conscious and listen to a lot of podcasts other than ours.
But we can tell you how we come up with
But
doing this.
at some point in about 2018 or 19, you started hatching this idea.
But you were already doing other things, video and audio, and
Right.
Yeah, and that a lot of that come from the original thing with Jason Chansey,
right.
the documentary. So we started filming some stuff, and
Did the documentary, you working that time we played at Tipsy's,
yeah,
You
that
were
was the
there?
first time I ever filmed y'all. I think.
did that right there encourage you to go into the videos like, what were they called? Rough Take? Or
Uncut.
Uncut, and then another. What was the street you lived on?
Oh, Swanee Drive. Yeah, live from Swanee
Live
Drive.
from Swanee Drive.
Yeah,
all
I
those
just did a
things
few of those.
were the first things you did. Now, this documentary we're talking about of the Newfanglers, that band that me and Sean were in back in the early 2000s, put out a CD that's kind of like it's a cult classic among 43 people. No, it's a really good album. I'm proud of it. That's one of the high points of my musical life right
Some
there.
magic went down on that.
Some magic did go down on that. I mean, from the standpoint, but y'all have heard that story before. If not, just go back and binge watch. We're on here. This is episode 88. Oh, we're closing in on 100, y'all. 100 episodes.
We're full 88 keys now.
Yeah.
And we're going to get there this year to number 100. I don't know what we're going to do to
Gonna get
celebrate
number
that one. It's going to fall on the first of the month. It'll be on one of the first of the month episodes. If we continue with this format, we're going to have to do something with as many guests as we can.
Get Jason back on.
I'd love to have it where we could invite as many of the ones that are closer to us that have been guests. We could invite them all, and if they all show up, we'd just do 15 minutes
Bring them in and out.
in and out, and then at some point in time, we'll all stand in the center of the rug in a big mass.
Play Twister.
and say, break, and watch us all bump heads.
Yeah, just have a big party.
That would be cool. Very cool. See, that's what y'all have got to look forward if you keep on watching. And we hope that you'll by now you will have subscribed to the Caution Light Media channel and
The YouTube channel.
on the YouTube. And of course, you're probably watching. Ain't no telling where you are.
There's a little bit of them everywhere, but
They're all over the
a lot
Spotify.
on YouTube. Yeah.
You can find it just about everywhere, and you can listen at most places, and you can watch on YouTube and somewhere else.
You can ask your smart speaker to play it.
You can ask Alexa, and if she talks back to you, good. That's what she's supposed to do. But if she sasses you, call me.
So we got Swamptown, Get Down.
Ooh,
coming
man.
up.
Starts tomorrow, as a matter of fact. Whoa. It's here, folks. It's upon us. But it's not too late. You can still buy tickets online, which will amount to about the same price as gate price. So I would suggest just coming on out and buying your ticket at the gate because you're not going to be taxed with that. You know, you buy online, you're going to get a little extra fees. So at this point, come on down. It starts tomorrow. Gates open at 3. Main thing that tomorrow entails is we open the gates early on Thursday before the weekend to allow the RV campers that have purchased spots. We've got a bunch of RV hookups and a dump station, all the thrills. And we allow the RV campers to get an early jump on it and come on in on Thursday. And between 3 and 7, the gates are open for early arrival and hookup. And because they come all the way, get ready for the big weekend, we decided we're going to give them a little party. And what it's been being for about 4 performances now. Can't remember. We must have started it at Swamptown. We did a Swamptown, I think.
About 5 times, I think.
Yeah, I think this is going to be about our 5th one. But we get down there in the campground with them and have a little Uncle Dave's Waycross stagecoach come into town. And this one at Swamptown on Thursday night, May 2nd, is going to be myself, the Pine Box Dwellers, and the Page Brothers duo. And then we'll close it out with an all-star tribute to Mexico. Since it's May, Cinco de Mayo's the following 3 days after the festival starts. And Cinco de Dos. I figured that'd be good enough. We do an all-star tribute based on nothing, really. We just put a little thought into it, like this time it'll be for the Beatles. This time it'll be for Johnny Cash. We'll do one for the music of Georgia. We'll do something. And so this one we chose Mexico, meaning you could hear songs by a Mexican artist. You could hear songs called Mexico or relating to Mexico. What else? You can do just about anything you want as long as it ties in, 7 degrees of separation.
So we got the headlining.
Pine Box Dweller. There you go. Show that poster, Justin. Oh, he can't be in 2 places at once.
Did you see
Never mind.
I can tell you who's on there.
Never mind.
He can put it up later.
Yeah, I've got it in the tail of the week, so you can pull it up then.
Okay.
He can edit it later.
Yeah.
I can put it up right now. If it's in the tail of the week.
Yeah.
Just give me a second.
Oh, look, he's mobile.
Yeah.
He's over here. What you doing with that right hand?
Where do your fingers go?
Wrong one.
When you
Episode
sleep?
88. I'm sorry, folks. We're talking podcast language, episode 88.
The podcast language.
It's behind the scenes.
That's it on the far right.
So, headlining, we got Bobby Lee Rogers Trio.
Oh, I just found out today it is just going to be Bobby Lee Rogers and Friends. Okay. So it's not going by that moniker. Who else is headlining?
Bonnie Blue.
Here we go, right here. Fixing to see it live. Yep, that's the whole lineup. That's our flyer this week. Always captivating artwork by our in-house art man, Brandon Jones, or you can find him on Facebook, James Brandon Jones. He's a good artist.
Yes, he is.
Bobby Lee Rogers, Bonnie Blue, other Pine Box dwellers.
Jupiter Coyote.
Jupiter Coyote, a band from the 90s probably that were from Georgia and gained a pretty wide following. They were kind of like tied in with All Good. It was back in those times, All Good, widespread. Mm-hmm. There was a big, push in that direction. They signed, seemed to me like they signed a contract and had several albums out too. All right, and then the backbone of the festival. All these other bands.
Blossom and Bone.
Todd Stanley's Cosmic Wheelhouse. Mm-hmm. Dirty Bird and the Flu from Valdosta area. Ella Rogers is Bobby Lee Rogers' daughter, who is now, I can't remember what age she is, probably around 18, 19. Out of Savannah, and she really is gaining a lot of popularity playing old sound. Well, she's probably playing the old standards. I don't think she writes, but she's playing old 1930s blues and rags and probably, just that element, along with it. I saw you on time.
Have you heard her, or you just?
I've heard some of her cuts online,
Okay.
Yeah, she's going to be up there. Habanero Bobby.
Yeah.
From our podcast. A lot of these have been our guests.
Jalapeno Robert.
Yeah. Jackson Tanner is a young fella from Waycross originally. He's up around Macon now. He couldn't get his band down to this one, so he's doing a duo with one of his drummers, Joe. I don't know if I can. Lepore. And the old Blackshear, Georgia boy, Josh King Kirkland trio. That boy can skin it back. He's been a guest on here. And another guest, the Page Brothers Band. This is going to be the full band. Now the duo will be in the Stagecoach Thursday. Page Brothers Band will be playing along with y'all on Friday night.
Cool.
So you can go to our website. It's right there at the bottom of the flyer, www.stgdfest.com. And you can see the personnel, the performance schedule, the bands, pictures of the bands, links to their individual pages. Yeah. And let's see who we got. Platinum Tide. You'll be seeing an upcoming episode with them boys. This is Platinum Tide version 2. We had an earlier episode with Platinum Tide, and we didn't know to put 1 on that one because here we had the second part of the 4-piece band. And they'll be on June 15th, good willing, Lord. And and then they are a young band, very talented, a good. I love everything about them because they were. I don't know if you want to call raised right, but their ears were just tuned into some good receptors or some good transmitters.
Yeah, they got good taste. And
they do.
They went hunting.
They are, and when they all quote the Beatles, we're gonna get off on a good foot, you know. But yeah, Taylor Martin, boy from out of South Carolina, I believe, he's starting to make a push. Good songwriter, acoustic guitar. Little Tom Waitsy in some of his deliveries. Him and Josh Kirkland, and hopefully somebody else. He plays a lot of gigs with the female fiddle player from Stickley. John Stickley Trio.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're at this level. They're cruising around out there in Abe Partridge territory or below. Abe's making a big splash now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of now. Tell the story about some of those when you were in your just videos period before we decided on the podcast. You were going, and one time, how did they know to find you to go to that? What you were telling me in the kitchen that time about the where you went to Mobile.
Well, that was through Abe Partridge, but I'd already worked with him.
I know some of the videos on Caution Light Media channel are him in the old house.
Yeah, that's when I first met him.
How did y'all meet?
I met him through Kyle Keller.
Kyle,
because
okay.
Kyle had played a gig with him in Valdosta, and I seen Kyle play a gig with him in Valdosta. He opened and Abe headlined.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I ever met Abe that night, but eventually I met him through Kyle. And then he come over to the other house one time, and that's when we did the first videos we did. It was like uncut videos.
Mm-hmm. Coffee, something about coffee.
Coffee on the counter.
Four coffee, stay in my teeth. That song?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That song, but it's called Coffee.
Coffee on the counter.
Coffee on the counter or something like that.
Yeah.
He's a genius, though. His career is really ramping up. I wouldn't doubt to start seeing him on some of them late night talk shows pretty soon. Well, I'm serious.
When we did the first videos, he was just starting a tour outside of his local area because I think he was playing in Savannah. He was playing a string of shows. That's why he was in the area. Mm-hmm. And he got in touch with me, maybe through Kyle or something. And I had him come by and we did those videos. And now he's played in Europe a few times.
Yep. He's been in New York just recently, and just a picture hanging out with y'all would know the bands. I didn't recognize them. This fellow we're talking about is Abe Partridge. He was the headliner at last year's Grand Parsons. And you just need to look him up on YouTube. And let's see. What was I going after here? Abe.
Some of the stuff he's doing now.
Oh, yeah, I was wanting to go to his Facebook page, and there we go. It should be on his page, that post that went out to, let's see what this says. He played the Lincoln Theater in Washington, D.C. on this run. Dang. First day ever in New York City, he says, on April 18th. I got to hang with Steve Shelley of Sonic Youth.
Yeah.
And Eugene Hutz of Gogo Bordello.
Mm-hmm.
Surreal.
Yeah, I saw that. That was cool.
I don't know them other two cats.
Yeah, so he's on a little tour right now. He's playing.
Is it a world tour?
Drummer, man.
I mean, I've heard Sonic Youth. I've heard of them.
He was working with Townes Van Zandt when he died, like trying to produce him. So, can you pull up that?
It's wonderful when people good comes to people.
Get thee behind me, hippie, on Caution Light.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's listen to one.
Let's watch that.
Yeah, that was the second time he came to the house.
We got to get him on our podcast quick, boys.
Yeah. We need to get him. Be good. We should have done it.
Unless you could think of another one. I mean, I was just looking.
I'd love to start up a collaboration with Mobile, the music and all. I know Paul Campbell and Laureen Flanders live there, and they're big proponents.
Like I say, that's the Red Clay Strays too, and then that whole
Yeah, another band that
Red and the Revelers.
they just called you and said, we're having this thing, come shoot it.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah. Well, Abe asked me out there because he has a little punk band that he does.
The Psych Peas.
Psych Peas. And they were playing for this other guy's album release. Red and the Revelers.
Red Clay Strays?
Well, Red and the Revelers.
Red and the Revelers. Okay.
They were doing the album release, and then Abe was playing, and then the Red Clay Strays were also playing there.
Where are they out of? Alabama?
Yeah, as far as I know, Mobile. They're all from Mobile.
There's a big, rich musical thing going on over there. I would love for us to be able to start having a good exchange. You know, there's somebody else that I met online through music in Alabama. We sent each other several emails or messages, and he does kind of like middle Alabama. Gave me the names of a bunch of potential bands that play up there, and that we could get this kind of a open communication going. Need to do that. There's Abe's legs.
Well, I've seen this graven image since I was a kid, of a long-haired and soft-skinned and limp-wristed Jesus in a flowing gown so fine, and looking like Woodstock in '69. I'm pretty sure this has to be some kind of sin, 'cause everybody wants Jesus looking just like them. And I ain't never seen our Lord, but I sure can't believe he'd look anything like these old dirty hippies, 'cause they walking around like Adam before he fell. And I ain't saying they're the devil, but God, they stink like hell. Oh, get thee behind me, hippie.
Now, this song could piss a lot of people off, but you know it's tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
I love his great song of man, kind of, you know, just gets right down, kind of like the working man level, kind of like a Woody Guthrie or John Prine, Common Man.
Yeah, like I say,
Things, but they're really deep.
But he seems
They get really deep, you know. But he was formerly a preacher, Pentecostal preacher. So a lot of his songs reflect these religious analogies.
Military too.
Military too. Sir, I think he might have served overseas.
Oh yeah. He was
An folk artist, like
folk artist.
Oh my God, he's a folk painter with an exclusive medium. I don't know if he came up with it himself, but he uses tar, roofing tar, I guess, and cuts into his, you know, that's his base. And then he applies oils to it or acrylics or whatever. And out comes a painting, and you can manipulate that tar below it to get all kinds of three-dimension almost out of it. And it's very folk art. I mean, he's got his caricatures are his. I don't know if anybody else has drawn characters that look as haggard as all they do.
yeah.
He's got a podcast.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't heard that yet. need to
I haven't
listen
listened to it yet. Sorry about that, Abe. We will, though. He was very responsible for me getting into 30A Festival this year. It was because I booked him for Grand Parsons in 23. And leading up to the festival in October, I was chatting with his manager on the phone one day, and I said something about, putting on a festival keeps you going. He said, I know. I said, oh, you put on a festival? Yeah. 30A. And I said, I got excited. And I pulled myself together and I said, maybe would you be mad if I sent you a separate email with some of my songs and you check it out and maybe give me a spot, please? And so that's how I got that. It was just fun. And I hope to get to go back. Y'all need to put in for that right now. 38 Songwriter Festival. It's about 13th year, I believe they've been having that, and it's just a huge thing in the middle of January in Santa Rosa, Destin Beach, Panhandle of Florida, where they mark off about 20 miles of Highway 30 and designate venues off to the right and the left and all kinds of venues. I mean, there's probably 50 to 75 venues for the whole
Kind of like
4-day
South by
weekend.
Southwest, kind of.
I guess so, yeah.
Just like the whole town's having a festival.
It just explodes. And you got this schedule saying who's playing where by the hour, Right. And if you wanted to go see Rodney Crowell at 3 p.m. here, it might be 25 miles to the next person you want to see. Yeah.
So different towns.
It is. It
The
covers
whole stretch of highway.
It's and you move from Santa Rosa to Destin it's below Panama City, and above. Of course, it's above.
You
Tampa.
play 2 or 3.
You can play up. They ask you on the questionnaire. They say how many times do you want to play, or how many days do you want to play?
How many times? Do you
I told them I play anytime. You just put me on there from Friday forward. And I got a Friday night or Friday at 5 and a Saturday at 9. 2 different places, but
how far apart were they?
Oh God, probably about. And it's so when you got that many people piled in there, the traffic is weird, and already it's weird because there's a lot of turns into squares and residential section and a lot of old avenues where you got tree median running down the middle, and real Florida.
How was the performance on that? It being a songwriting festival, did you like talk about songs any or?
Sure, I just did my regular old act. Here's a song that came to me one time when Sean called me.
But that was typical of everybody else playing.
Some of them had their own styles. John Fulbright was there. That kid from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Oh, genius.
Yeah, he's good.
I ran up and asked for a song from him, and I said, man, big fan. You the man. I wanted to talk to him at length because Paul had met him. John Fulbright played at Leon's eulogy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And I texted Paul real quick. Said, I'm sitting here listening to old John Fulbright. Did you ever meet him? Oh, yeah. And I highly recommend his stuff, too. Whew. He's a good one. But anyhow, Howard Seaweed Seaman from the
Dakota Dodge.
Dakota Dodge. Dang it. Now, what's the town? Clayton? No. Carrollton,
Yep,
Georgia.
Carrollton.
Yeah. Seaweed Seaman, one of my good friends. He's a Braves fan. We run into each other. I went to a Braves game randomly last year and saw each other through the crowd, you know. I mean, I saw his head sticking up, looking right at me. Big old crowd of people where you walk in the stadium. It's like a little community. You know, stores, restaurants, all kinds of stuff. It's like you're walking up through the streets of Brooklyn or Chicago. Just walking through the residential section, and here's a stadium in front of you. Boston was that way. Went up and saw the Boston Red Sox and Atlanta Braves when I married Chris Johnson. We were only married for one day, but I married him.
They were only married for one day?
No, I said I married Chris Johnson. And I said we was only married about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I said I can't do this.
So you went to seen the Green Monster.
Yeah, I saw that green monster. I got up to go to the snack bar, and while I was gone, one of our guys hit a 3-run home run or something, and Lynn, we were behind the third base dugout, pretty close to the field, and Lynn said, jumped up and went, "Yay!" in a southern accent. And she said she heard about 2 rows behind her, she heard this guy growl. Scared her to death. That was fun. So get to now that we brought us up to these videos from Caution Light Media that were showcasing individual artists and full bands. And there's one band, well, Abe's taken off too now. There's several people that you've had on the videos we've had as guests on here who are pushing making some waves.
Right, yeah.
Abe himself, Stray.
The Red Clay Strays.
Red Clay Strays.
Yeah.
Will Mosley on American Idol.
Goodness gracious. It's timing. Everything is timing.
What is this?
This is some of the Red Clay Strays. The stuff I done.
Yeah, man, they're everywhere now.
Yeah, they blew up.
That's what their videos have just tripled or probably more in views.
When a golden sunset fell,
Hey!
Like Johnny Cash.
walls of this motel.
He's got the look and the voice. And the suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rooms ain't clean, but the sewer are cheap. There's no room service, but it's a place to sleep. And the walls are paper thin.
A little bit of Chris Isaac going on there too.
I hear bad things now and then.
They have a good voice.
Well, the man to my left is on his honeymoon. They ain't
Who's he
got
sounding
a
like?
lot, but they got each other.
Can't figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh, I see people come and go around here. The money's always tight. You better save up your quarters and dimes if you want to stay another night. Here's a place you can get away and stay till the things get right, till the things get right.
Now see, listening to them and not having listened to them much, I've listened to some of these videos before, but it's been so much time has passed. If I was listening to this first listen right here, I'd say, well, they deserve this attention.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're good. I mean, I'm tickled that they're getting some eyes on them, as opposed to some of the stuff that's in the mainstream. This is like a lot of talent right here.
This was Mobile.
Yeah.
This outdoors.
No, it's a little. I think it's called 420. Well, no, it was on 420. We shot it at. I can't remember the name of the club, but it's a club.
There's a place you can get away and stay until the things get right, till the things get right. Yeah, till the things get right.
They sure got a lot of energy.
Yeah, till the things get right.
Got a lot of attitude too.
Till the things get right.
Got a lot of altitude too.
Things get right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right, so you went over there and shot them and Abe Partridge, and,
Did?
or the sack piece.
Shot him.
He shot him.
Shot him, yeah.
I shot a man in Mobile.
Shot him down.
Lord, I shot
hung my head.
down.
I hung my head.
So, and at about that point, our band, our project, the Newfanglers, decided we was going to have a little reunion. 2016, maybe.
We're talking about Tipsies.
We had Tipsies.
I think it was 15.
And then we had the Creek.
I think it was 15.
2015.
Yeah.
I know I got videos of that back home on my computer and all, but you could go to a page.
I think I had maybe done something with Sean.
You can listen to the one at Tipsy's. I've got it on my music page. So anyhow, so you, Jason Chancey, came up with the idea of a Newfanglers documentary and started collecting footage, interview type style.
Well, something in the water documentary.
Something.
Yeah.
No, it was a Newfanglers tribute to begin with. Newfanglers documentary to begin with.
Oh, that might
He
be.
was getting footage
That might
to
have been
put out
something
a
I don't know
documentary. Well, it's probably going to be called Something in the Water.
Maybe
But it was
so.
going to be strictly
I think
based
maybe it
on
kept
us.
changing.
Maybe originally that was a focal point. And
Yeah.
then backing out from that.
And so he was gathering concert footage from those reunion dates in 2015. And it got to be so bulky that he just said, I got to trim this back down to something that I can control. As far as editing would have been a chore. But anyhow, the documentary idea kind of fell through the cracks. And then the whole thing, though, Something in the Water, means so many different things. Right. It's an old phrase everybody has heard probably since, I don't know when it, we ought to Google that.
I'll Google that.
I'm always tempted to find out what, boy, he sure is the bee's knees.
But it was during that time where
these phrases come from.
But I was listening to some interviews that we were doing, and I had been listening to podcasts myself, and I was thinking to myself at that time that this could be a podcast, and and then as time went on, I thought you and Sean would be the perfect ones to host it.
Yeah, and there it was. It was all laid up there. All we had to do was step up to the plate and swing. And we've been swinging for 5 years now.
Well, we had some downtime.
We had some downtimes, a little glitch here and there, but
a solid
nothing to really.
years.
It's a solid run from late 2019 when we started this, and that wound into the next, and now here we are at about third of the way through 24. So that we're into our 5th year doing this. And because of the respected success of these guys that are connected to Caution Light Media through these former videos, we're gaining some viewers ourselves. And it's that all that stuff helps.
Riding coattails, man.
We're just riding on the coattails of Jelly Bean.
But the Will Mosley episode, that was and that one.
Yeah.
But
You got any of those clipped down to songs?
I don't yet, but I got to do it. So.
Didn't you repost it the other day? I thought I saw a repost on it.
No.
No, I need to. I want to cut the songs out of there. And
You ought to get all these guys, Red Clay, fix up some nice little posts from the Something in the Water Facebook page and shoot it out there. And take claim of it. Say, Caution Light Media is proud to say, I was there before they were here.
well, I feel like most people I've shot should be being recognized.
Yeah, well,
You know,
I mean,
y'all
but these
included.
even more so. I'd go out there and
I feel like it's a lot of talent, but it's also a lot of good opportunities that came along at the right time that allows for that. You got to be
that's
there.
true.
And I feel like
there's a lot of factors.
I feel like it could equally happen to either one of y'all. And somebody like Kyle Keller, I feel like, I feel
That's
like
right.
he should be in front of a lot of people, I feel like would be a big audience for him.
Yeah.
And it's just a
Yeah,
matter
to just be involved with that is thrilling.
it's having
enough.
everything ready to go, the whole package, and then finding somebody that can connect you with,
Yeah.
and you start getting
It's
up
just
to that
that.
next level.
We're talking about that in the kitchen tonight. It's the fabric of life. You got to put something in
Yeah.
to get something out. And we all swinging through this. Well, Jim, it's a big old wind blistered world we're riding through every day. Welcome to another Uncle Dave's Cowboy Bunkhouse. Slide that into it, skin it back.
Play us a new song you wrote, Dave.
I don't have anything. It's 10-10.
You hadn't wrote an album in 3 days?
It's 10-10, by the way.
Yeah, 10-10.
There it is.
10-10.
10-10. That's a little character on Star Wars.
That's Dave's Fallen Angels numbers.
It's a little character on Star Wars. 10-10.
Ren 10-10.
Ren 10-10 was a dog I used to watch on TV Saturday mornings. Let's do a little tale of the week right here from Dog Hill to Tripoli and back. One of my little writings. You ready?
I don't have my copy. I didn't bring all my supplies over here.
What you need?
What you need? Some reading glasses?
I just need my paper.
What you got,
You
Lauren?
got my paper
the
right
paper. Is that it over there?
here? I had them over there, but
Let's see. These are fast ones.
just sit with us through this administration.
You sure that over
I thought they were sitting on that base amp.
Whoa.
What's that cable?
there? Sitting on the board.
They were sitting on the amp.
On the end.
Are they in between the amp and the case? There you go. Solved the crime. I'm just gonna leave all this in. Be
There's
like
the
a
first one.
be a peek behind the curtains.
I don't think there's much to hide behind the curtains over here.
We ain't got
We're
curtains.
just like out here.
We just got,
Okay. Well, we're not off the air, are
no, I'm gonna leave all this
we?
in.
Okay.
What were you gonna say?
Nothing. That's right. All right, folks. $1.25 from the Dollar Tree. Sometimes you need them. During the summer of Sam, folks in New York really had something to worry about. I suppose whether or not to go disco dancing with a killer on the prowl was a pretty weighty decision to have to make. Down in Valdosta, Georgia, at the King of the Road, the motel where Down Home Band played, ate, slept, and drank, we didn't have a care in the world. That Down Home Band with Eddie Middleton was one of my old higher education moments. Road band. The folks that owned and managed the motel King of the Road loved us and treated us like family because we used to pack the place out, made them a ton of money every week. Mitch Ray ran the place, Wilmot Pierce in charge of the motel, and Nan Fielding, a big brassy redhead, handled the entertainment. The King gave each one of us in the band a motel room, and we made good use of them. Our work, if you could call it that, was from 8:30 to 1:30 a.m., Monday through Saturday. So we spent a goodly portion of our young, carefree lives within the walls of these motel rooms. Double beds, private bath, maid service, access to Atlanta Ted Turner's fledgling all-night TV station, TBS. What more could a 23-year-old want? On the 4th of July, 1976, down-home drummer John Randall Smith, keyboard player Ricky Alderman, and I took off to Florida for the 4th of July jubilation. There's my ticket stub. An outdoor music festival in Tampa Stadium to see the Eagles, Fleetwood Mac, and Loggins and Messina. We sat out in my old yellow Ford cargo van, which had nothing comfortable to sit on outside of the driver and passenger seats up front. So before we left, we hauled a mattress from my King of the Road motel room into the back of the van, so we'd have something to travel with on that 5-hour drive, something comfortable. When we made our way back to the King of the Road the next day, we found a pissed-off Wilmot Pierce waiting out front with a befuddled maid, saying, "I can't make the bed up, Miss Wilmot. There ain't no bed." A slap on the wrist. We took the mattress with us, and they thought they was going to have to call the law. A slap on the wrist, and it was back to business. On Sunday, May 29th, Ricky, John, and I headed south once more to the Tangerine Bowl in Orlando for Rock Super Bowl I, featuring Fleetwood Mac, Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band, Kenny Loggins, and Chick Corea with Stanley Clarke and Return to Forever. The first in a series of outdoor rock music festivals, it was scheduled on a Sunday, our day off, and the ticket price was only $10. It was perfect, all but the weather. It rained during the day, turning the stadium field into a mud muck mush and forcing us into the stands where John Smith ceremoniously crowned me with his fine white Panama hat, saying, this was there that day, saying, "Dave, I bequeath this hat to you in hopes that you'll wear it honorably. Besides, it looks better on you than it does me." See that Adam's apple? Boy, I was proud of that thing. Kenny Loggins be damned. I was out of my league there.
Kenny
And he gave me that speech. It looks better on you than it does me. We was drunk. Of course, the bands were fantastic, and we headed back to Valdosta the next day with news of Rock Super Bowl II coming up on July 3rd, featuring Andrew Gold, Jimmy Buffett and the Coral Reefers, Hall & Oates, and the Eagles. That was one more that we weren't going to miss. So we rounded up more folks, piled in a van, and left in the wee hours of Sunday morning. There were about 46,000 like-minded music lovers there that day, and we got right out there amongst them. It was a show for the ages with a cast of our current favorites at a price that was downright ridiculous. Better than anything Walt Disney had going on a few miles away. These were the first outdoor music festivals I ever attended. I hardly had anything like that in mind when I opened up my backyard for an informal gathering of music in 1998, calling it the first annual Griffin Guitar Pool. Held on the weekend after Thanksgiving, it continued to grow in popularity until I was forced to open it up to the public. Through the years, it became known as the annual Graham Parsons Guitar Pool and has seen some major artists cross that stage. Marty Stewart and his fabulous superlatives, Firefall, Kentucky Headhunters, former Eagle Bernie Ledden, Leon Russell, Charlie Louvin, Dr. Ralph Stanley, Jim Lauderdale, Kevin Kinney, Walter Egan, Jay Farrar, just to name a few. The pool publicly began in 2002 at a local honky-tonk Little Nights and graduated to the Kentucky Fairgrounds on the edge of the city. Beautiful. Well, it's just a fairgrounds. It's long. It's long and it's deep. And it's already got about
They got
58 hookups for campers. And
they got electricity out there.
they got electricity out there. You can get it in
Running
110. You can get it in 30 amp. You can get it in 50 amp.
Got running water.
You can run water. Yeah, it's a good time. So after the 2010 guitar pool, some of the local musicians and music lovers talked me into offering a second festival in the springtime. So with the forward-thinking assistance of a fine staff, the Swamptown Get Down Music and Arts Festival was born in 2011. Offering some of the most eclectic, original music from Georgia and Florida, Swamptown stands as one of the best little music festivals you ain't never been to, featuring past performances by Colonel Bruce Hampton, Rolling in the Hay, Grandpa's Cough Medicine, the Corbett Brothers, Zach Deputy, Parker Urban Band, Roosevelt Collier. Now, the 14th annual Swamptown Get Down Music Festival is right there on your screen, and we looked at that earlier. It will commence beginning tomorrow and going all weekend long. Feature former Georgia rockers Jupiter Coyote from deep Florida, Bobby Lee Rogers and friends. Waycross's own, the Pine Box Dwellers, and Bonnie Blue from Bonnie Blue is kind of spread between Jacksonville and
They're all from Jacksonville except for
Valona.
For Willis.
Spread between Jacksonville and Valona, but boy, they sound like they out of this universe. Rounding out the entertainment will be local, regional, and statewide artists Blossom and Bone, Todd Sargent's Cosmic Wheelhouse, Dirty Bird and the Flu, Ella Rogers, piano-playing prodigy and daughter of, sorry, folks, that's what you call a public display of forgetfulness. Billy...
PDF.
What are you trying to read?
the headliner. Bobby Lee Rogers'
Bobby Lee
daughter.
Rogers.
Sorry about that. It happens. I now know I'm confused because the next act was Habanero Bobby.
Yeah.
Then you got Jackson Tanner and Joe Lepore, Josh Carlton Trio, Page Brothers Band, Platinum Tide, Taylor Martin and Friends, the Shade Trees from Cochran, Georgia, and a Thursday night RV campground concert featuring Uncle Dave's Waycross Stagecoach, including the Pine Box Dwellers, Page Brothers, and me. That's a lot of fun. with an all-star finale tribute to the music of Mexico.
Mexico.
Back in the summer of 77 at the Rock Super Bowl in Orlando, I'd have never dreamed that someday I would be promoting music festivals in my hometown of Waycross. Must have been some magic in that old straw Panama hat belonging to John Randall Smith. So there it is. And that being said, come out to the festival. It starts tomorrow. And I wish we had time to listen to some of their music, but just follow me on Facebook or go to the Swamptown Get Down Music Festival Facebook page, and you can see clips of all the bands that'll be performing this weekend. That's where you can buy online tickets too, or you can just come on out to the gate, and you save a little
Always
money
a
by
blast.
doing it
Always
that
a good
way.
time. Can't
Oh,
wait.
he knows. He's been to them all.
Yep.
Yep. And we appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. Thank you for continuing to watch. Check out all these other offerings on Caution Light Media YouTube channel. Go back, dig back into some of those early episodes that Justin cut. The uncut episodes and the live from Swanee Drive episodes. There's some good stuff out there that you might have missed. So that being said, and this being that,
We'll see you next time.
we'll see y'all.
When the cold black water finds its way across through your veins, it just might seal your fate. It just might seal your fate. It just might seal your fate.